Not offhand. Maybe I need to start writing that down. But yeah, I just try to.
You know, if you can't remember it or whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, just for the most part.
We need to get the mojo up. Andrew.
Okay. Now, is that something that I need to, for these purposes, pay attention to, or just kind of jot down if it's an extremely late call?
It'd be good.
Okay.
I mean, any call you want us to listen to.
Okay.
How's the new list? The November one and then the new weekly list?
I've been calling the November monthly one. I haven't tried the weekly one because I think you've been doing the weekly one. So,
Yeah, I just whatever.
yeah, because you did the
call
first
that
one, and so
stuff.
then I just decided I'd just start on the second one first.
Okay.
And I've been getting a few leads, more so people that want to not right now, but in the future kind of type people. I got an appointment from the list already.
Nice.
About.
Is it a cash one or a list name?
It was a cash one.
Nice.
Yeah.
You mark it on the board?
I like it. I have 5 this month. But does warm count on that?
No, it's just for cold.
Just for cold? Okay. So
Well, what did we say, Andrew? Did we say that actually? Did we say just for
I think
cold?
it's just for cold.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
Okay.
so then I guess one of those whichever one ones would count as for cold then.
But nice,
Because
you
I
got a
have-
cold cash one from that list?
Yeah, because I have
Okay.
3 cold
Congrats.
cash this month.
That's what's up.
Nice. That's good. Do you think it's better than the Aldantic list? Or
Yeah,
still too
so
early to
far.
say?
Yeah, I still say too early to
Okay.
tell. And it was just nice with the Audantic list because everybody picked up, and so you had more opportunity. But
Yeah, there were better
this
numbers on that
one-
list.
Yeah, this one was more voicemails, but I mean, I got full call lead from it.
Yeah. Well, to think about that, because I mean, we're doing up to 10 phone numbers per record to try to have the best chance of getting one number that is the right number for the person.
Yeah,
That means a lot of numbers then are going to be
true.
random numbers.
True. And so those
You can do less numbers, but then you get a hold of less people.
Yeah.
So, 1 month maybe we can try 3 phone numbers instead of 10 or 7. And we can see if that makes it go so you're catching more people.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that because the Audantic only had that one or 2.
It just has
per-
one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or it has only one.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, yeah, it has one.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. You got Mojo up, Sensei?
Yeah.
When you look, what accounts have you been using, Kevin?
VA2.
And then Cody, which ones are you using again?
Normally I did 3. Last week I did 6 a little bit, I think. It was 6.
Okay.
But mostly 3. all the
Okay.
time.
I guess let's listen to look at the last few days, see if they have any long calls that we should listen to. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes, hi Josh.
Hey, Mark. And Joe, can you hear us? And can you turn your video on, Joe?
Yeah.
You can hear us?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. My name is Mark. Mark Allen. Oh, cool. Huh? Oh, cool. Brenda, hi.
Are there any longer ones?
These are 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so Kevin, what did I tell you when you were on the phone earlier?
Submit the fair offer.
Right, so you got to tell them what's in it for them for you to come and look at the house, right? You have to be very clear with them.
Okay.
Right, so why is it important for us to see the house? What does the seller get from us seeing the house?
Yeah, an offer. They can see.
Or they get like a firm written offer,
written offer.
exactly what our offer's going to be.
Yeah.
Right, so the whole reason that we're saying the whole thing about the comps are all over the place is to justify the fact that we need to go and see the house to make him the offer.
Yeah.
But then it'll be really quick, and in like 5 or 10 minutes, we'll tell you exactly what our offer is going to be. How's Tuesday? Would 4 work? Right, then you close on the date.
Okay.
Right, so you have to, you were sort of letting it hang too much. Yeah, well, the comps are all over the place. So, it's kind of hard to tell. and then the seller like said some stuff.
Mhm.
Comps are all over the place. Therefore, I need to look at the house to tell you exactly what my offer is going to be.
Gotcha. Yeah, she was,
And just so happens I'm going to be there on Thursday, house 2. Right? It's all sort of goes all together.
okay.
Right? So that's keeping the train on the tracks, moving it towards your objective. Your objective is an appointment, right?
Yeah.
Not to talk about the comps being all over the place. That's just an excuse to say why we need to see the
Why
house.
we need to sit down. Yeah, she was just a nice lady, just talking to. She was one of those people that won't let you get a word out. You know, sweet old lady. She just talked so much. So I was trying to control the train.
Okay. Yeah. Then in that case, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay. Is this your training shirt, Andrew?
Yes.
The same shirt he was wearing last week. Equally as wrinkly as it was last week as well.
I only have the one shirt. This is my only shirt.
About the house or Hardy place. What about?
Okay, so that's good, right? You got the what about it.
Actually,
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling them, and Joe too. It's good for you to hear. If you get the like, what about it, or yeah response after your intro, that's like a good sign. Like they're engaged and they're listening to you.
for other properties in the area. I apologize, I know this call is completely out of the blue. But we were out there, I just like, do you have a price set? I'll send it to you. Sure, could you tell me a little bit more about the house? Is that the number that you're looking for? That's the number I'm looking for.
It's a plus.
You can go on,
Okay, so what do we think about the call so far?
Good.
What do you like and not like, if anything?
I like that he just threw out a random number. He's like, sure. I would probably throw in like, yeah, that might be possible.
Exactly. You want to like acknowledge what he's saying.
Okay.
That's kind of like what's missing.
Okay.
He said, I want 575. You're like, tell me about the house.
I said short, but I could probably say more.
Yeah, it wasn't clear that that was a price that we could possibly do.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, okay. We might be able to do that. Tell me about the house.
Might be able to do that.
Like,
Okay.
they're telling you about the house because you think we might be able to offer them what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, you have to make that, like, clear.
Okay.
So that was, like, the biggest thing. The intro I thought was pretty good. I mean, the completely out of the blue thing sounded a little bit fake.
Okay.
Because you said it so much, so you want to change that up.
Okay.
I have a relative agent, if, you know, but I'm not sure the house is already listed right now. Excuse me? So you said the property's already listed with an agent, or? Yes, yes. Okay, and the reason I'm asking is I'm looking at it online and it doesn't appear to be listed with an agent right now. Well, not formally, not officially, not formally, but I have an agent on that. It's not yet on the market, but
And what's the question we need to ask in this
if you are
case?
willing.
Yeah, you told me yesterday to see if they've signed an agreement, and if not, just a perfect.
Right, the
time.
question is, have you signed a listing agreement
Mhm.
with that agent?
Yeah.
Joe, that's the question. Have you signed a listing agreement? So if they say, I have an agent, or it's on the market, oh, okay, so it's on the market now? And you've actually signed a listing agreement with the agent? That's the question. If they haven't signed a listing agreement, or if it's not like actually on the market, they just are saying they have an agent because they know an agent they would list it with if they were to list it. We need to ask if they actually signed an agreement. If they signed an agreement, we can't do anything. Say, okay, cool, no problem. We'll look it up and we'll make an offer to your agent. Thanks for the time. And then just hang up. So we can't do anything. But if they said, no, well, I have someone, I'm about to sign the agreement, but I haven't yet, then what would we say in that case?
Perfect time. Could you tell me a little bit more about the house? I'd like to submit an offer, if possible.
What's in it for the seller for you to do that? That's what you're missing.
Oh, the exact offer of what.
No. What's in it for the seller?
Not having to pay commission.
Yeah, you probably should answer these. But that's right.
Yeah, no closing costs, no commission.
What's that, Jeff?
Because with us, there's no realtor fees. Is that right?
Exactly. Okay, perfect. Well, if you haven't signed yet, that means I can actually make you an offer, and then you won't have to pay any commissions on it if you don't want to, because you haven't signed it yet. So tell me about the house. So give them the reason, what's in it, like what's in it for them to tell you about the house. Like they don't get off on telling you about the house. You have to give them why telling you about the house is in their benefit, why it benefits them. Similar to when we are going to look at the house, why that's in their benefit. Like, they don't benefit just from having people traipse through their house and look at it. The benefit is that then they'll know exactly and have a firm written offer on what we can pay. So then they'll have a firm offer, they can decide if they want to sell it or not.
Okay.
So what's in it for the person you're talking to, right? You always have to be thinking about that.
That's like fine. It has, can I tell you a little bit more about the house? I don't have time, sir. You're calling me at a time when I was on my cell phone, I don't have time.
Okay, an objection, I don't have time.
Maybe
So the objection is I don't have time. Okay, let's see what.
try to reach out to you, at a later date, because we're definitely interested in it.
Pause.
In about 6.
Okay, so his objection is I don't have time, and you said, can I reach out to you at a later date? Do you think that the sellers are typically going to say yes to that question? In this kind of seller scenario?
With his personality, no.
Right, probably not.
Yeah.
Right, that's not going to be effective with this person. So what should we do instead?
I would have said, okay, I'll, or what I should have maybe said was, okay, no problem, I'll give you a call back at 4:30.
No,
No.
It takes.
because he's
3
going to be like, no, or okay, whatever, and just not answer, whatever. It's you can try, but you're not going to accomplish much. That's not going to accomplish much.
I would just say it's going to be quick. It's going to be 3-4 minutes. I can tell you an offer.
Right.
Yeah.
To emphasize how fast it's going to be. Yeah, okay, yeah, totally. Like, if you can just tell me just like the condition of the house, how many beds and baths, I can make you an offer right now on the phone. It just takes like a minute or two. I wouldn't even say 3 or 4 minutes. It's too
Okay.
long, right? He's trying to get off the phone.
Yeah.
So if you just tell me just even just really basic stuff, condition, beds, baths, and I can make you an offer in like a minute. You just keep saying in this call, tell me about the house. Can you tell me more about the house? Tell me about the house. You have to change the phrasing up. Give them prompts of the information that you need. What kind of condition is the house in? Would be one example, right? Tell me about the house, like just the real high level. How many beds and baths does it have? Make it easy for them to start talking about the house. You don't want to just say the same thing over and over. Tell me more about the house. Is it like 3 beds or 4 beds? How many beds does it have? You can even like start there. Oh, well, it's got 3 bedrooms. Okay, how many bathrooms? Okay, and what kind of condition is it in, right? You can lead them down the path of getting them to talk about the house. Baby step them along the way if someone's being resistant. He doesn't want to tell you about the house. He doesn't have the time. Let's say, hang on. So all right, let's role play the I don't have time. Okay, so you're on the phone with a seller like this. The seller is, basically trying to shuffle you off the phone, and I'm telling you, Joe, that I don't have time. Joe, I don't have time for this. I can't tell you about the house. I'm like running to like an appointment. So, what would you say?
Okay. Yeah, can you just tell me a little bit of basic information, just real quick, and like how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms? I can give you an offer right here on the phone in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay. That was the basic idea. Let's try Cody. Yeah, Cody, I'm running to like an appointment. I don't know. Maybe it's all. I don't know, but I have to go. I don't have time for this right now.
Oh, I understand you're pretty busy. This is literally going to take a quick few minutes here, and we'll be able to have an offer that you can think about. Can you just tell me a little about the house? How many bedrooms, baths?
Okay, so what do you think about that?
I went the opposite way.
So, can you tell me a little bit about the house?
That's a no.
What's
or
the
yes or
easiest
no.
answer to that?
No.
Nope, I'm too busy. Bye.
So how many, have you ever done renovations to the property in the past 7 years? Would I ask like a question like that?
Well, that's like a question that requires a longer answer, sort of.
Yeah. Not a yes or no, but.
You want like a something short and quick that they can just respond to quickly
Okay,
to get them talking
you
about the
would
house.
always do like the how many bedrooms? Does it have 3 or 4 bedrooms?
No, anything.
Anything.
Like, so have you updated it recently?
Okay.
like has it been updated recently? Could you at least tell me that, and then I can just give you a ballpark offer right now on the phone?
Okay.
And don't say a few minutes. A few minutes is too long. It doesn't have a few minutes.
That's true.
All right. You got to be thinking about what you're hearing and what makes sense to respond with. So Kevin, let's try. Kevin, no man, I don't have the time, man. I'm running to an appointment. I don't have time for this.
Sure. Listen, I completely understand. If you got about a minute or two, I can tell you exactly what we could offer you right here on the phone. Just wondering, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you have?
What do we think about that?
The minute or two still.
A minute or two still, but I mean that's okay. I mean it's. I would probably just say 1 minute,
Okay.
or 30 seconds even maybe in this case, right? If you got like 30 seconds, you can tell me like
30
I've got like
seconds.
2 questions I have to ask you about the house. If you have 30 seconds, then I can make you an offer. And you don't have to say this verbatim. I'm just trying to give you the idea behind it, right?
I'll say 30 seconds, though. I think that's...
Or John, maybe we shouldn't mention any minutes at all. Maybe just say, okay, not a problem. I'll keep this extremely brief. So, has the house been updated recently?
Yeah, but so you don't want to ask about has the house been updated recently though, because like we're role playing the same scenario, and the guy's saying I don't have the time to talk about the house. I have to run to an appointment. So, and also you want to tell them what's in it for them, right? Like, if you just have 30, like so. Got it. I know you got to run to something, but like if you've even got 30 seconds right now, I can make you an offer right here, right now over the phone. If you got 30 seconds, I can make you an offer right here, right now over the phone. Something like that.
Gotcha.
What's in it for them is right here and right now, I'll let you know the offer, so we don't have to talk again. You don't have to set up a second call with me or me try to catch you on the phone. You'll know in like 30 seconds what my offer is. That's always like, what's in it for them is always knowing what our offer is. We're always dangling that out in front of them to keep them on the phone talking to us.
That's the care.
What if they say, okay, what's the offer? And then you tell them.
Yeah, totally.
about the
Great.
house.
So, has it been renovated recently?
Okay, and then what if they're just like, yes, and then they're giving you short answers and they're kind of like trying to get you off the phone?
Yeah.
Like, how would you try to bring it back? Because you're never going to give them a number over the phone.
Yeah.
How would you bring it back without telling them to like actually like get that appointment?
Yeah, that's a good question. So how would we respond to that? All right. So let's say the person gives you the 30 seconds, and then you ask them the question, and then you ask them a couple questions, right? So they say, all right, okay, fine. It's got like 3 beds. It's got 3 beds and 2 baths. How would we keep the conversation going in that scenario? Okay, it's got 3 beds, 2 baths. So what's your offer?
That's when you go into the comps all over the place.
Well, so how would you respond to that?
What's your offer?
I think I'd ask another question a little bit more specific. And the house is in good shape? Are those I think renovated?
I think that's right. I'd still try to pry them open with a couple more questions, and now make them a little more open-ended.
Okay.
Is the house in good shape, or does it need some work, or? Yeah, it's in good condition. What's your offer? Okay, cool. Like, so has it been, just to be sure I'm clear, to make sure I give you an accurate offer, we're justifying the question.
Okay.
Has it been like renovated recently, like in the past few years, or when was it last updated?
Okay.
And we're trying to now ask more, we justify why we're asking the question.
Yeah.
So to make sure that I can make you an accurate offer, like, has it been updated like recently or like a long time ago? And so now we're asking a little more open-ended to try to get them to talk more about the house, if possible. So that's good, Joe. So let's say that the person then says, I told you I don't have time for this, it was updated like 5 years ago, but I mean, make me the offer now or I'm hanging up. What would we try to say in that scenario?
So that one's the tricky one, I feel like. Because I want to go into
so-
an appointment
so-
like, well, we'll be there Thursday. Can we stop by 5 minutes to give you a firm offer?
Okay.
But then they're already, I
That's
feel
kind
like,
of what I was thinking too.
You were thinking that too? Yeah, I mean, so that's one way you can go, right? Well, okay, cool. Well, actually, I mean, we're going to be actually right next door, like right in your neighborhood on Thursday. If you've got like 5 minutes, then we'll come by and we'll drop the offer to you, exactly what our offer is going to be. We just need to see the inside super quick, and you'll know exactly what our offer is. That's one way, but you haven't really built enough like rapport and credibility yet where they're likely to accept a meeting. So what else could we say in that case? What do we always say when someone says, oh, Okay, what's your offer? Like, what's our sort of go-to thing that we say?
Or
So what do we say?
Comps all over.
We don't
the
say
place.
comps. What do we say?
the comps are all over the
Comps all over the place.
Right. Okay. Well, let me take a look here at the comp. Let me just pull up the comparables here for you. Do.
I
Like,
just feel
hit your
at that
keyboard.
point, they're gonna be so annoyed with us that they hang up. Like, oh, we're gonna waste their time trying to like research. They like, in my mind, like you should have already looked at the comps beforehand. So could we just say that we already looked at the comps or something?
Well, I usually say while.
No,
while
I mean,
we're
if
talking.
there's a certain profile where the person is just gonna
No
not gonna let you talk and just kind of like hang up.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find the people who are like busy and they're like kind of going somewhere, but they're also kind of curious about selling.
Okay.
Those are the people that we're trying to like kind of keep hanging on there and kind of like keep nudging them to hang on to the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So the best one I think is just use what we always do, right? Is that the comps are all over the place. Let me take a look here at what they're selling for. Hit your keyboard, right? Okay, let's see here. Well, let's see. You know, it looks like they're kind of all over the place actually. Like I really can't tell you for sure until I actually see the house. But I'm actually going to be right there, and if you just have 5 minutes on Thursday, I'll tell you exactly what my offer is going to be. So we still don't really have enough with someone like that, rapport and credibility and stuff, where it's going to be a high percentage of the time they're going to be willing to take that appointment.
Yeah.
You know, because they haven't given us the time and they're not willing to talk to us.
Yeah.
But at that point, I would still try to close on the appointment. Do the do all over the place, but emphasize how brief it's going to be. You're going to be right there. Right? How does 4 o'clock work? It just takes 2 minutes. We'll drop the offer off. We'll hand you the offer, exactly what our offer is going to be after we see the house.
Yeah.
Make it very tangible for them, what they're going to get from taking the appointment. Use some of those kinds of things. That's really kind of all you can do at that point. Because, I mean, you know, if you actually give them the range, you're not accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Every time I did the range, like beforehand, before you told us not to give ranges anymore, they'd always, like, I'd be like 250 to 350, and they'd be like, well, I wouldn't sell it for anything less than 350. I'm like, well, shoot, we would never pay 350 for your property.
Right.
So it's like, that kind of just like sucked. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not saying that anymore.
Yeah, the range never really accomplishes anything.
Yeah.
So we're just continually putting the carrot 1 inch further out.
Okay.
That's really all that we can do on these calls when someone's busy, time crunch. Just tell me the offer. What's the offer going to be? Oh, well, let me take a look here at the comps. Okay, and how many, does yours have 3 beds, 2 baths? Or how much does yours have? I'm just looking at the comps. I want to make sure I'm comparing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it has like 3 beds, 2 baths. Okay, cool. And has it been like updated recently, or? So you keep trying to get them to talk about the house,
Mm-hmm.
asking different types of questions. But again, we don't just want to say like, tell me about the house. Like, can you tell me more about the house? If they're already time crunched.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to ask specific questions about the house
Mm-hmm.
and try to get them engaged in talking about it in that scenario. So Joe, let's role play it. Yeah, Joe, I'm really busy, man. I don't have the time for this. What's your offer? Real quick, I gotta go.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd like to give you an offer right now. Could you just tell me a little bit about the house? How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms?
No, I don't have the time. Just what's your offer, man? You know, if you can't tell me now, I have to go.
Okay, I just need a little bit of info to give you
No.
an offer right now on the phone.
No, because now you're arguing with them. Now you're arguing with them. They're saying, I don't want to give you the info, and you're saying, I just need the info to make you the offer. And I already told you they don't want to give it to you. What should we say in that scenario?
I could definitely give you an offer. Just need to know, how many beds, how many bedrooms do you have? Is it 2, 3, or 4? I guess.
Well, start to give them something.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let me tell you exactly what my offer is going to be. Let me just pull up the comparable sales
Go
here.
into that. That's good.
Right. So you're giving them what they want.
Mhm.
I don't have the time, man. Just give me the offer. Okay. Sure. No problem. I can tell you're extremely busy. Let me just pull up the comparables here. Comparable. Let's just take a look here in your neighborhood. Okay. And so does yours 3 beds and 2 baths, or? Right. So you don't have to always ask it before you show the comps. You can ask it after you are already about to like look at the comps. Right, when someone's like, give me the offer. Okay, well let me give you the offer then. Let me just pull up the comparable sales. And so some of these are renovated. Has yours been renovated recently? Why am I asking it in that way? Like, why is it more powerful to pretend like we're looking the comps up than to just say, keep asking questions about the house? In this
It buys you
scenario.
more time and it gives them a carrot to, that's your carrot because.
It buys you more time, why?
Well, it buys you more time because the question that you ask, of course, they have to answer. But in their mind, if they tell you, then they're that much closer to finding out what you're going to pay for.
The last part of what you said, you're starting to tell them what your offer is.
So you're giving them what they want.
Right. You're going to give them what they want. You're about to give them what they want. They say, make me an offer. You're saying, yes, I'm going to make you the offer right now. I'm making you the offer. I'm about to do it. Here it comes. Offer coming down the pike. Here it is. Ready for the offer. Oh, and by the way.
Yeah.
Right? You want to agree with the seller, right? So, Joe, I don't have time, man. Tell me the offer now. I'm hanging up on you. Right now. Right now.
Yeah, let me just pull up the comparables here on my computer real quick. By the way, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms is the home?
What do you guys think about that?
It could have been better.
How?
For me, I would have probably used the one we said, has yours been remodeled? Because some of these are remodeled, some of these comps are.
Okay, so let me pull up the comps. And has yours been remodeled?
Yeah.
Okay. So also, let me pull up the comps so that I can make you that offer that you want.
Gotcha.
There's still kind of, everybody I'm noticing, you're not quite telling them what they want to hear.
Re-engage them
Like,
about what they want.
you have to tell them what they want, right? They're saying, make me an offer. You're saying, okay, let me look at the comps. And can you tell me about the house? You didn't tell them, I'm about to make you that offer that you want.
So
Okay,
question.
try that again.
Yeah, let's try it again. But Kevin's question, we can do that first.
So my question was, if they say, well, I guess it would probably be the same thing. But if they say, I want $375 for the house, what's your offer? I mean, would this same scenario still kind of apply?
What do you guys think? So let's say the seller says, I want $375, what's your offer? I gotta go.
We can probably give you 3.
We may be able to give you that amount, but in order to provide you a cash offer accurate to the penny, we would need to come by and take a look at it. By the way, is the house in good shape?
Okay. That's decent, except Mark, I wouldn't reference that we have to come see the house in person because we still haven't built enough. We haven't had enough talking on the phone yet, enough rapport built. So I would leave. So that was the right idea, but leave that part about seeing the house out. We want to instead tell them we're going to tell them the offer right over the phone. We're not going.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right, we're not going to, but that's the hook for them to keep talking to us.
Got it.
So again, let's just, but the first part was good, right? You want to kind of agree and say, absolutely, we're going to do that. So Cody, $375, that's what I want. Or is that what you guys are going to pay? You're going to pay that?
Absolutely.
I gotta go.
Absolutely, we can probably give you that offer. I have to look up the comparables to see if that's in our range. Can you just tell me a little bit more about the house?
I don't want to talk about it. I just want $375 or nothing.
Okay, well let me just look up on my computer and I can definitely give you a firm offer. And it's probably going to be that $375, but let me just make sure. I'm seeing, the comparables are all over the place, and it ranges a lot. And I'm actually going to be there by Thursday for a quick, 5 minutes, and I can give you a firm offer, and you can have that in your hands. It would probably be that $375 you're looking for. At least you know. Does that sound good with you? 2 p.m.
Okay, there we go. At the very, very, very end, right? Close on the date.
Yeah.
Close on the date. You're sort of like, if that's right in your hand, does that sound good to you? We could probably do that. How does that sound? Thursday, right? So closing the date. Closing the date.
So with that though,
Always closing the date. So that was decent, but there's definitely some stuff that we can improve.
Sure.
yeah, I was just gonna ask with that approach. I thought it was good, but we don't have any of the information that we need though, right?
Right. It was too early still.
Yeah,
Remember, you have to
still-
come back still about the house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Yeah.
you have to imagine yourself, right? That's like make believe when we're in kindergarten, right? Like you build a fort. It's not really an actual fort that will withstand like an attack from an army.
Yeah.
You're like pretending it's a fort,
Yeah.
right? Or like think about a banana. You see a banana? You see a banana in your head,
Yeah.
right? They're pretending there's a banana.
Yeah.
So similar kind of thing, right? We're pretending like we're looking at the comps. Okay, absolutely, 375. Well, first, yeah, and also we don't want to like be like, yeah, that's probably what our offer is going to be. We just want to say, there's a very good chance, you know, that we can give you
Yeah.
that exact amount. You know, that's completely within the range, it sounds like. Let me just take a look here at what the other properties have sold for, right? And you're imagining you're looking at comparables, right? So let's see here. There's this one here. This one's a little far away. This one here. This one's kind of close by. Let me make sure I'm getting the right ones to give you the most accurate number of what our offer is going to be. That's what's in it for them, right? Our most accurate number for what our offer is going to be.
Yeah.
And let's see. Well, this one's renovated. Is yours renovated? So you're using the fact that you're looking at comps to ask them about their house. So that way you just keep saying, tell me about the house. How many beds and baths does the house have? You're justifying why you're asking the question because you're looking at the comps. Is yours like 3 beds and 2 baths like this one comp I'm looking at, or different? They're much more likely when they know you're about to give them what they want.
Yeah.
You're about to give them the offer. Right? The offer is always just like 1 inch, like you're always just about to give them the offer. And oh, by the way, right? But so you weren't, but we didn't have enough rapport and credibility, you know, to do the live meeting.
Yeah.
So you have to come back still to the thing.
Yeah.
All right, so Kevin, 375, man. If you're gonna give me 375, we got a deal. Otherwise, you know, go away. I gotta go though, man. I got 2 seconds. I gotta go. My
Sure.
kids are pulling my leg, Kevin. 375.
Absolutely. So we could probably get you something around there. No, that's bad. Sure, not a problem. So I'm looking at the comps for the area. It looks like we could probably come in around that price. Looking at this particular one, is yours remodeled? How many bedrooms or bathrooms do you have?
Just one question.
Okay.
When they're in the time crunch mode.
Okay.
I don't know. It's too much, man. Never mind. I gotta go.
Okay.
You have to make it easy, bite-sized pieces when you have a very time-oppressed,
Okay.
you know, seller like this.
Okay.
So try it again. Kevin, 375 or nothing, man. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Absolutely. So I'm looking at the comps now. You know, the 375 sounds like it could be within range. This particular house that I'm looking at, it's remodeled. Is yours remodeled?
Great. Yeah, they're right.
Okay.
Well, you know, mine was a model like 5 years ago.
Great.
So what's the offer?
Got it. Still looking like it's a range. I got some 4 bedrooms over there. I got some 3 bedrooms over there. How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you have?
Okay, so what you didn't do is acknowledge what they said.
Okay.
Again. You have to acknowledge what the person's telling you.
Okay.
So what's your offer? And you just went like, okay, so I'm looking here. Here's one's 4 bedrooms. Kind of like you're not really listening, sort
Okay.
of. So what should we say instead in that scenario?
I'm gonna give you the offer. Like something about the offer, I guess.
Okay.
Bring it up.
Yeah, something about the offer. Like, what would you say in that role play we just did with Kevin? What did I say? 375.
375.
So is the offer 270? So what's the offer? Is it going to be 375 or what?
The offer could definitely be around that range. Or, you know,
Yeah.
I want to
It's
give. I
looking
wanna
like
give you a
it's
fair
looking like that may be
Okay.
exactly where it's going to end up. That's what I'm figuring out right now when I'm looking at these comparables.
Gotcha.
So just read
Okay.
it from my.
So you just read.
You're reiterating what you're sort of doing and why you're doing it. Yeah, absolutely. 375. It certainly seems like that might work. You know, let me just take a closer look here. Like now you're looking closer, right? A closer look at what these have sold for. And so is yours 3 beds, 2 baths, or like how many beds and baths does it have? Oh, and you said it was remodeled recently. Like how long ago was it that you remodeled that? What did you remodel in it? If they give you that opening. If they're still in rush mode, then you have no choice but to close on the appointment. Even though we're going to get it a low percentage of the time because they haven't talked to us enough. At that point, we have no choice. But that's how you're going to string them. You're supposed to string them along. Just string them along.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
So, Mark, Rez, what, 375, man. I want 375. Is that what you're going to give me? I got to go.
Yeah, there's a very good chance to give you that amount. Let me take a closer look here at the comps. Is yours 3 baths with 2 bathrooms?
No, it's 4 beds, 2 baths. So what's the offer? Is it 375 or what? I mean, I got to go.
Okay, yeah, this would only take about 30 seconds, and I could provide you an offer over the phone right now. I'm looking into the comparables. By the way, is the house in good shape?
Okay. Yeah, it's in good shape. So, I mean, do you think you can do that, Mark? Or, I don't know, what do you think about the offer?
Basically, my usual reply will be.
No, keep role playing it. Keep role playing it. So yeah, so is that your offer or what? 375 then?
Well, in order to provide you a cash offer accurate to the penny, I mean, if you're open to it, we'll be in the area next Thursday. We can provide you an offer there and then. It would only take about 5 minutes of your time.
What did you forget at the end?
2 p.m.
Closing the date.
Yes, correct. Closing the date. Closing the date.
Ask
Closing the
if
date.
they're open.
Right, Mark? So we're going to be there on Thursday. How's 2 p.m.?
Okay.
Did you see what I'm saying? So you have to always
Yeah, because
close.
what I did was I asked, right?
Yeah, you like just propose. Like, okay, well, if you're open to it, we can come and look at the house, make you an offer right down to the penny, tell you exactly what we're going to pay for it. And the seller says,
What if I'm not open?
the seller says no or yes or what, right? Keep talking and say, we're actually going to be there on Thursday. It just takes like 5 minutes. Would 2 o'clock work? We're assuming they're going to accept our appointment and we're having them decide on the date. We're assuming they are accepting the appointment and having them decide on the date.
Okay.
That's closing on the date. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah, a lot of sense, yeah.
But yeah, the way that you handled it at the beginning, I thought was good. He remembered to say the whole like 30-second thing,
Yeah.
right? And then I can tell you exactly right over the phone what our offer is going to be. So that was good. You said 30 seconds. I'll tell you right over the phone what our offer is going to be. You made me feel like you were going to give me what I was asking for, and it was only going to take another few seconds. And then you start asking questions about the house. You could also, Mark, when you're talking about the house, make it seem a little more like you're comparing their house to these comparable properties. So I'm looking at the comparables now. Let's see here. This one here is renovated. Is yours renovated or has been renovated recently? This other one here is 3 beds and 2 baths. Is yours like that? Or I'm just asking so I can give you the most accurate offer right here and now over the phone. So you continue to reiterate what they're going to get by spending another few seconds with you. You're just buying yourself a few more seconds, few more seconds, few more seconds. And hopefully you get a hook where they start talking, right? You can get them to open up a little bit, get them to calm down, give you their attention for a second, right? And then you get them talking about the house. You can ask how long they've lived there, if appropriate. Then you get them talking, and that's the foundation to get the appointment, right? And then you get the appointment by closing on the date. If they stay in that mode, right, and it's really short, what's your offer really short the whole time, then you have no choice but to try to close on the appointment. Even though you haven't really like it's going to be low percentage because they haven't talked to you enough where they're probably going to want to take it. Because if you're going to invite someone into your house that calls you cold on the phone,
Yeah.
is that something that is comfortable or kind of uncomfortable?
It's very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Right? Like you don't know, you could be a serial killer,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you guys could all be serial killers. I mean, they don't know who you are, they don't know anything about you. You'd be some kind of psycho.
Yeah.
So that's why them talking to you and having the conversation, having the longest conversation you can is so important.
Yeah.
Why is it important? What is having a conversation, a long conversation do? What does that accomplish?
It's more credibility.
Trust and, like,
Right, how does it build
Trust.
rapport? Yeah.
Establishes credibility.
Yeah, but like how though? Like how does just talking to someone, what does that make you feel like? When you've talked to someone for a long time, how do you feel about that person?
It builds trust. It builds.
You feel like you know them?
A relationship.
Yeah, there we go. I think that's it, right? So all those things, the trust and credibility and stuff kind of come off of the relationship aspect of it. Like you feel like you kind of know them a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Do you feel like you know someone more when you do most of the talking or when the other person does most of the talking? When do you feel like a stronger connection with another human being?
Oh, you always let the other person talk more because then they feel more comfortable with you. Like if it,
Right.
like I would want to talk more to feel more comfortable with you.
Right,
Or
exactly.
you would want to talk more if you want to feel comfortable.
Right. The other person does the talking.
Yeah.
You can have, if you spend an hour with someone and that person does 90% of the talking, or you spend an hour and you do 90% of the talking, where are you going to have a stronger connection with that person?
They're talking more.
Maybe that's all.
And they're the 90%.
Right. When they do the talking. right? So all these questions, like how many beds, so is it like 3 beds or, and then did you renovate it recently or, okay, how long did you renovate it? Oh, so have you lived there a long time or, we're all just trying to get them to talk. Because by talking, they feel comfortable with us. They feel like they have like a connection, relationship with us. And then they'll feel comfortable enough with us to allow us to come and make the offer. Because we're presenting ourselves as the one who's going to come make the offer. So if they like you and they trust you and they've talked to you a lot and they feel a connection, they'll allow you to come into their house. If they don't, they're not going to. So that's the whole point and objective of this. It doesn't matter what you're talking about at all. I mean, if you want to talk to them about sports or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Another thing with comfortable, if you're on like the call with like the person that's in a rush, going back to like if they don't want to keep giving you information about the house, you can't get them to talk more. Could you go into like gaining that trust by saying, "Oh, I'm actually going to be out there looking at someone else's house, giving them an offer." You know, like trying to make them seem like, oh, they're not the only one you're going to go see. Like,
that's good.
You see a bunch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like be like, oh, you know, I'm going to spend a little bit there, and then can I just spend 5 minutes with you and just give you an offer there?
That's good. Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, so basically I was saying, like if they're trying to rush you off the phone, and so you can't really build that rapport, then just say, like I'm going to be in the neighborhood looking at someone else's house for a couple minutes, you know, I'm going to give them an offer and I'd love to give you one too, you know, 5 minutes of your time, like on Thursday at 2 p.m. Can I meet you and give you that final offer or something like that? Mm-hmm. Something that says that you're going to already do it with somebody else because you didn't really build up rapport and trust in the combo.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's your other like last ditch, right? Like if ideally you get them talking. If you can't get them talking, and we have to just close on the appointment, at least to try to give them more comfort, you want to try to build credibility and trust by being like your neighbors are already doing this, basically, right? Like what you're saying. So when you're closing on a date, like embellish it more. Like, okay, actually, I'm going to be right in Arlington. I'm actually meeting with another owner just a couple streets over, actually, from where you are. So I'm going to be right there. I'm meeting with that owner to see about buying their house. So could I just swing by after that, just for 5 minutes? That's all it takes. I'll poke my head in. Then I'll drop a hard copy offer off exactly what I'll pay. So you see how we're like embellishing it, right? Like poke my head in. 5 minutes. Swing by. Right? Like all these little words, like real quick, real easy, I'm right there, super quick. Poke my head in, hard copy offer, right in your hand, hand it over to you. Right? You're embellishing, you're making it more quick, more easy, more clear what they're going to get from it. They're going to have a piece of paper in their hand. Not just a verbal offer, they're going to have a piece of paper written out, committing you to buying their house. Then they have all the power and can decide if they want to take that offer or not. So you're embellishing more what they're going to get from it by making it like a hard copy physical thing. I'm handing the offer to you. Right, so these are all like the tricks that you can use, right, as you guys are getting now better at what you're doing, right, where you can use these kinds of words and use these kinds of like tricks.
So the one that she was talking about, that's more for when somebody's like, make me an offer, make me an offer, make me an offer.
Where you couldn't build, like you couldn't get them to talk.
Gotcha.
And so for them to even let you come see the house, you want to kind of try to build trust some way in some form.
Exactly. This is kind of your last ditch, right? Okay. Your objective is to get them talking and build that connection and the relationship where they'll feel comfortable with you being inside their house. If that can't be done, they just won't allow you, they're too busy, they're too abrupt, whatever, then we have no choice but to try to close in the appointment anyways. Because our other choice is just accept a no. And it's better to try, even if it's a low likelihood of success, than to not try at all. Yeah. And so we're going to try to close on the appointment, close on the date. And so to give us the best chance of that being successful, even though it is a low probability, we want to embellish the scenario to make them feel like, oh, like my neighbor's like doing this already, and you're going to be like right there. So it's not like some big appointment thing, some big deal where you're going to be like coming over just for me, and you're going to spend like an hour all this time with me, and then you're not going to want to leave, and it's going to be really awkward for me. Mm-hmm. All those fears that one human being has about having a salesperson sort of in their home, you want to circumvent that by that whole language that I gave you guys. I'm actually going to be 2 blocks over, meeting with one of your neighbors, making them an offer. So could I just swing by for 5 minutes, right, brief 5 minutes, and drop an offer off to you? Right, you're swinging by and you're dropping the offer off, right? You're like the mailman. You hit your one appointment, right? Now you're driving past this person's house, and now your window rolled up with a rubber band around it. You're throwing the offer onto their doorstep. That's the vibe you want to give them, and they can just like reach their arm out of their mail slot and pick up the offer.
Yeah.
Without even like interacting with you.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe, that's the message you're trying to convey.
And
right.
In that scenario, because now we don't really have that much information for the appointment, we don't have like the mortgage and stuff like that. How do we go about like knowing if it's an agent or a cash deal, or like do we care about that, or?
So that's a good question, right? So let's say that the person agrees to it, right? And they're like, okay, fine, Thursday at 2, okay. So what are we doing at that point in the call?
Could we do the last ditch, like, okay,
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, great, let me just put it in my calendar here. So now it's not the comps, the imaginary comps.
Yeah.
Now it's the imaginary, I'm typing the calendar planner in so I know to meet you. Oh, and how much did you say you owed on it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, have you done it a long time, or? Because they may have calmed down at that point. They've agreed to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes if someone hasn't calmed down at all, and they're just like, no, I can't talk about that. Thursday at 4, come by if you want, whatever. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Then you have like half an appointment.
Yeah. And would that require like another call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you have half an appointment. You don't have a full appointment, and you gotta call them to confirm the appointment.
Yeah.
Is it easier to call someone out of the blue as a cold call, or easier to call to confirm an appointment that they've already sort of agreed to?
The second confirm.
Right. It's easier to confirm. That's why we're doing this. That's what we're getting out of it. It's easier to kind of confirm a kind of appointment that we have than it is to call them cold.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, I was calling you back. You might remember we spoke. We sent up like a tentative time on Thursday at 2, as you probably recall. Just wanted to make sure that still was good for you. I'm going to be right a couple blocks over. Was planning just to come by after that. When I called to confirm just then, what did I do?
You kind of are building up more with them, more trust with them that you're actually going to do what you said. I guess, like, I don't know what you mean.
When that little riff I just said when I was calling them back to confirm the appointment, what did I do? The shit I was saying.
Reestablish credibility, and you kind of lowered their suspicion even more.
How though? How?
By using those action words that makes it think that
You're
it's
going to go to
quick.
your neighbor's house with the offer.
Right.
You're going to stop by.
Right, like that whole part, right? Like, I reiterated the low investment on their part, the quick and easiness of the appointment.
Before you, like, let them talk.
Right, like I reiterated how quick and easy, low investment, I'm going to be right there. That whole thing, that it's not a big deal. It's super quick and easy. Before I asked them to confirm, well, why did I do that?
Because then they would think about it more and be like, oh, that's going to take a long time. You calling me for an appointment. Like, you're thinking a lot about this. I don't really care about an offer or something like that. I don't know what their mind's thinking, but it's more saying like it's going to be quick and easy, like I told you before.
Right,
like,
right.
It reassures them that it's not going to be a whole big thing.
Right, it reassures them and it reminds them that it's easy, that it's quick, it's not a big deal.
And they're gonna get what they want.
And because they've only half agreed to it, you still have to sell them on the appointment. We're calling to confirm the appointment, but it's not really like we're confirming it. We're actually calling to make sure that they even remember what the hell we talked about and have any intention at all of meeting with us.
Yeah.
So you have to like I'm reselling the appointment. That it's quick, that it's easy, that it's low investment, and that they're gonna get what we can give them. The only thing that we really have to offer, which is what? What's the only thing we have to offer in this all these scenarios?
Cash.
Offer. Offer, which equates to cash for their house.
So John, with those of the half appointments, would send you guys the info for those and then follow up after, or do you want us to follow up, get all the info? Because if the guy says, all right, Thursday 4, lit, then it hangs up. But I send you guys, okay, there's like a half appointment Thursday at 4, I'll follow up and let you guys know, or how, like, put it in your calendar.
Yeah, the logistics would be, you know, put it in our calendar, but just note at the very top, like, tentative, need to confirm. Like in all caps at the top of the notes section in the calendar, and even at the beginning of the subject line, to put like tentative, but tentative in like the subject of it and tentative in the notes, really big.
Okay.
And then say like need to confirm, only, you know, tentative need to confirm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you'd have to catch the guy, which will be a pain in the ass a lot of times, but again, it's better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And to confirm it.
Okay.
What other shit are you guys hearing with these kind of busy? What are some of the things they might say, right? Be like, just let's, in these or any other scenarios.
They could say they're not interested in selling, but they don't sound too convincing. So sometimes I try to pry a little bit more just to see, you know, if you're really thinking about selling, or did you just think?
But the old standby, right? The most common thing that we get, which is that, see if you're open to making you an offer, open to selling. No, I'm not. Right. So let's do some quick role plays on that, and then I'll try to be a reluctant seller. So Kevin, no, I don't want to sell. I'm going to stay here till I die.
Are you sure you wouldn't at least want to hear my offer? Maybe more than what you think.
Right. Again, we want to use like curious kind of interested types of words, right? But yeah, that's basically it, right?
Wouldn't you at least be curious to hear what an offer is, or what my offer would be? Maybe more than what you think.
Right, more than that. Well, I highly doubt I'm ever going to sell, man. I don't even think it's worth your time. I mean, I'm old as shit. I don't got that long left.
Well, I mean, could you, I don't know, maybe tell me a little bit more about the house? I can tell you right over the phone what we could offer you if you got maybe 30 seconds.
No. Why am I saying no?
Because you don't have any time. Are you not that interested? Yeah,
I'm still not interested. So you're asking me to invest in you by telling you about my house, but you haven't like piqued my interest enough, sort of. You haven't like really got me on board that I give a shit enough about what you have to say. You're asking for the investment too early. So leave out that part. So Kevin, I'm old as shit, man. I mean, I don't got that long left. I mean, so I don't know, maybe try with my kids or something.
Okay. Are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious? Are you sure you're not at least curious as to what I could?
They already said that.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
What else, guys?
We'll come back for that.
What else, guys?
Don't sound old.
Right. You can have a little joke, right?
Yeah.
Really? You don't sound that old? How old are you?
How old are you?
I'd just be curious how old they are. They said they're so fucking old. How old are you?
Yeah.
And maybe they were like, well, you know, I'm 82 years old. I was in the Vietnam War, and there you go, right? There's your opening.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of morbid. You probably have decades left. And they were like, oh, you know, I don't know, maybe you're right. And then you can just say other things.
Yeah.
So that's one possibility, right? So I'm old as shit, man. I got like 2 months left.
Well, how old are you?
Right. So we role play that, right? You can sort of say how old you are, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
What else? It's just different phrasings of the. Wouldn't you at least be kind of curious about the offer? What are other phrasings, ways we can ask that question?
At least you'd know what an investor would pay for your property, kind of thing. You'd have a firm up.
Right. So something like that, Joe. What were you saying?
So do you think you could maybe just start going into info about the house? Like, oh, you know, how long have you owned the house for? And like,
you could do that conversation as long as it's conversational.
Okay.
Conversational. You don't start to kind of ask them to give you stuff. If it's like a conversational thing, oh, so you probably lived there forever then, right? Or you lived there a long time, I guess, right? When did you buy it? Like conversationally
Yeah.
is okay, but not like, okay, well, how many beds and baths does the house have? Why would we not ask how many beds and baths the house have in this scenario?
Could I have any? Well, first of all, I told you no. But then,
Right, they said like I don't want to sell, so
Yeah.
how would I tell you about that?
Yeah.
So another thing, like what Cody is saying, is different ways to ask this question is like, really, like it'd take 2 minutes, and right over the phone, I'll tell you what exactly an investor offer would be. If nothing else, like just for your future reference. Then at least you'll know. If, maybe something unforeseen happens, probably not, but you never know. Like, at least you'll know what it is. It's just 2 minutes. Like, tell me about the house. Then at that point, try to prompt them, I guess, to talk about the house. I mean, again, we don't really have interest from them at that point.
Yeah.
But probably after the second comeback on it, you would have no choice but to try to prompt them to talk about the house. So you can say stuff like for future reference, like maybe like what if something changes? I mean, it's just like 30 seconds on the phone. I'll tell you like right away what my offer would be.
So, question, in that instance, right, do we want future reference type of appointments? Meaning, like, let's just say we go through everything, and basically my carrot to her was, we'll tell you an offer, comps all over the place, blah, 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 and I get the appointment. But she's not interested in selling. Is that the type of lead that's worth going out to, I guess?
Listing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It is for a listing.
Okay.
So if you were, I'm typing up the appointment, if you were to consider selling, when would you be looking to sell, do you think, realistically? So at least find out, I feel like, wow, 5 years from now, then at that point, it's sort of a toss-up, maybe we would just cancel it or something, even for a listing.
Okay.
But you'll still want to just push and get the appointment.
Yeah.
Because at the end is maybe only when you get the real story from them.
Right.
You may not get it until the very end.
Yeah.
So always push for the appointment.
Okay.
Even just for like future reference, I mean, just so you have like a kind of stake in the ground of what an investor would pay for it, like it would just take literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Tell me like 2 things about the house and I'll tell you what my offer is.
Yeah. Okay.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Tell me 2 things about the house, I'll tell you what my offer is. These are all like different kind of tricks and techniques and different ways of trying to just buy yourself more time. So let's role play. Joe, no, I don't want to sell.
Okay, would you even just be interested in hearing what a local investor like myself would pay for the home?
That was okay, but you want to do the whole kind of curious. Are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious to hear
Okay.
what I'd pay? And don't call yourself a local investor because it sounds fake. Like you wouldn't call yourself that if you really were a local investor.
Yeah.
You just say
Okay.
or what I would pay. It sounds kind of weird. So wouldn't you at least be curious, right? So let's say, Cody, no, I don't want to sell, Cody.
Oh, are you sure you would be at least curious to see what maybe an offer would be for me? It might be more than what you think.
I don't know. I mean, I'm old as hell. I think I'm gonna die here.
You don't sound old to me. How old are you?
I'm 92 years old.
92. Wow.
Classics drive.
That's awesome. Okay,
Right.
well,
So that works.
yeah.
Yeah. So that works. So let's try another scenario. Mark Rez. No, I don't want to sell.
I see. Wouldn't you at least be curious on what my offer would be?
A little too firm. Like, kind of, are you sure you wouldn't? Because they're saying
sure?
I don't want to know. So I guess maybe we do want to phrase. I'm telling you to almost do it verbatim. I don't know. Other ways that doesn't sound as compelling to me, but maybe I'm biased. Kind of, are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious? Like that whole kind of
Are
thing.
you
What?
sure?
Yeah,
Sure you wouldn't at least be curious on it.
Yes, let's try it again, Mark Rez. Mark Rez, no, I don't want to sell.
Okay, are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious on what our offer would be? Or?
Okay. Right, you can also add in, it might be more than what you think after that. Are you sure you wouldn't at least be curious what I'd pay for the house? Like as an investor, it might be more than what you think. And then I come back, Cody, and I say, no, I don't want to sell.
Okay, well, I mean, it takes 30 seconds, and then you'd know what I'd pay for the house, and you can think about that. I just need a couple things from you about the house, and then I can tell you a firm offer, and at least you'd know.
Okay, Kevin, let's have you try. No, I don't want to sell.
Hey, listen, I completely understand. If you